paddock trees, they're big trees, often greater than 200 years old, like most of them are pre-European, and they've got resources in them that are going to take hundreds of years to develop. So they're great assets as they are for animals to move across the landscape. They're also great habitat in themselves, great place to feed and nest, but they're also great starting points for restoration work. So you can give your tree planting a 200-year head start by planting it around a paddock tree. By having other tree plantings in the vicinity or around the tree itself, will take a bit of pressure off that tree from insect attack and provide them a bit of shelter from wind and that sort of thing. And you can also look at potentially recruiting new paddock trees, like the one you plant today. So creek lines are, I guess, are great places to focus on with your any projects around biodiversity. They're sometimes the main corridors across the landscape. Even in a natural system where it's all bushland, the creeks are the corridors where genetic material flows, so whether they're a bush rat or a glider, often that's where animals will move along creek lines. Yeah, so biodiversity conservation isn't just about birds and possums and gliders. You don't forget about the aquatic ecosystems. And from a small dam to a creek line, you can have a really big difference by trying to look after the riparian edge and the reeds and the rushes, and also the water plants within the water. It's a great place for frogs, turtles, small fish, including small native fish. They can have an ecosystem in itself, some of these little areas, and you can make a huge difference on a small scale. If you can do your restoration around there or just protect them areas, that's the one first big step, I think, in conserving biodiversity on farms. So I guess when it comes to looking at a re-veg on your place, a small re-veg plot isolated by itself can still have some value. If you can have bigger re-veg plots, you often get more species come in to use it and there'll be more breeding activity. If you do re-veg, which is linked in with some of the big old paddock trees or big trees, you can get possums and gliders start using them because they've automatically got that hollow resource. But the best thing to think about when you're looking at biodiversity is the more different types of habitats you have, the more different types of biodiversity you're likely to have. So keeping things different is always a good way to go. So when it comes to biodiversity conservation, small farms can make a big difference. Whether it be just planting a couple of trees to help a squirrel glider move from their nesting site on the road to a feed tree or a paddock tree a couple of 100 metres away, or whether it be having a bit of fallen timber just to extend where that tree creeper can go and feed out into the paddock and give it a viable place to breed and survive, that can make a big difference. If everyone did a little bit here and there, it all adds up. So a small farm can make a really big difference, and there's so many things you can do.